When we hear about a child getting murdered, we tend to believe the killer is an adult male. But from time to time, the killer turns out to be a teenager. In this case, the teen was a girl. In another case we covered not long ago, the teen killer was a boy. We will leave a link to that video in the description and on a card that should show up in a sec. On January 9th, we learned about how the desperate mom of 7-year-old Katie Ruff called 999 to report the little girl missing. At that time, Katie had been missing for 45 minutes. It was members of the public and police officers who found Katie half a mile from her home in a field with horrific neck and chest injuries. The little girl was rushed to the hospital, but sadly she died later. Witnesses expressed their deep shock when they saw Katie's mom racing to the crime scene, dropping down on her knees, screaming, "No, no, it's my little girl." Even though the witnesses were in shock, they tried to comfort the distressed mom. Katie's father came to the crime scene after his wife. As medics worked on their daughter, the distraught mom paced back and forwards from the field where her little daughter lay stuck in the mud, while Katie's dad stood against the wall in despair. In the afternoon, Katie's grandparents went to lay flowers, including a handwritten card at the scene. It said, "Night night, my darling Princess Katie. Love, Nana and Granddad." Other moms went tearfully without their children to lay flowers at the scene, where a forensic tent was put up on the edge of the field. Tracy Ralph, the head teacher of Westfield Primary School, told that Katie was a kind and thoughtful girl who was well liked. She was hardworking and showed a particular talent for creative writing. Neighbors told how Katie was a really sweet little girl who always looked happy. She seemed very popular and had a lot of friends with whom she often played. Katie was also mentioned as a quiet, pleasant, and shy little girl. Shortly after Katie was found, a person had been charged with the murder. The person charged was a 15-year-old girl. It is said that the police received two emergency calls on the afternoon of Katie's murder. One call came from Katie's mom, the other from the accused teenager. The 15-year-old teenage girl has appeared in court, charged with murdering the just 7-year-old Katie with a Stanley knife. Katie's family sat in the public gallery just yards away as details were given of the killing. The family stretched and stood up to get a look at the killer teen, who was wearing an oversized light gray jumper. Just 2 weeks before Katie was murdered, she was a bridesmaid at her parents' wedding. The 7-year-old girl stole the show in a pretty silver squid dress as she proudly stood with her mom Allison and dad Paul. After the killing of Katie, her father posted a picture of his beloved daughter on Facebook, which led to a stream of tributes from friends and well-wishers. To help and support Katie's family, a GoFundMe page was made by strangers. After just a short time, the fundraising page has raised more than £1,500. This made Katie's aunt post a message on the site. Quote, "Just wanted to once again say thank you to everyone who has donated. The generosity of strangers is overwhelming. On behalf of my sister and the rest of the family, thank you." On Monday, January 16th, Katie's family and friends invited the community to remember her 8th birthday. The family would be releasing balloons to celebrate Katie's life. The people who wanted to attend the event had been asked to meet up alongside the school where Katie was a pupil. A £1 donation per balloon was required, and people had the option to write a message before releasing it. Handwritten messages were attached to 200 balloons before they were sent skywards. On Facebook, Katie's mom wrote this heartbreaking message. My beautiful, beautiful, sassy, kind, amazing girl. I love her more than any words could even come close to explaining. Life will never ever be the same again. My children, my grandson, and my husband are my whole entire life. I live only for them. Katie's mom also revealed a tattoo tribute to her little daughter on Facebook. Alison Ruff, the mother of Katie, turned to Facebook with an appeal after detectives were seeking clues about half an hour time frame which could help the investigation. Alison asks members of the public to think back to Monday, January 9th, and come forward if they remember seeing a 7-year-old girl in a green coat with a black fur hood and a slightly older person, mid-teens, probably wearing blue jeans and a blue hoodie. They would most likely have appeared happy and friendly to each other. If anyone saw them walking any route from Foxwood to Ellis Drive, please contact 101 as soon as possible. If you have any information that could assist in the investigation, please dial 101. Select option 1, speak to the force control room and ask to be put through to the Cleveland and North Yorkshire Major Investigation Team. Please use reference number 1217000468 when passing on any information. Any information could be vital in painting a picture of the missing 30 minutes. You can find all the contact information in the description as well. Allison also asked people to put Team Rough as the social media status to raise awareness. Only a couple of days after Katie was murdered, her parents released a tribute video on Facebook for the beloved daughter. The heartbreaking video shows many images of the little girl from how her daily life was and even pictures of her as a baby. Besides pictures, the montage also includes the words love, always in our hearts, and you are our sunshine. Link to the tribute video is in the description. The Archbishop established the hashtag Team Rough for family and friends to pay tribute to the little girl. Katie's funeral at York Minster was led by the Archbishop of York, Dr. John Sentamu, who told the congregation he slept next to the coffin in the chapel where Katie was lying in state. 5 weeks after the murder of Katie, mourners were lined up on the streets of York for the funeral of the little girl. A horse-drawn carriage carried Katie's cat-in-the-hat coffin to the service at York Minster. The small coffin was decorated in bright white and red stripes and featuring characters from books. While Katie's dad, Paul, and mom, Allison, followed their daughter's last journey, Paul mopped at his eyes as he linked arms with Allison, who was aided by a walking stick as she walked into the church. It has been revealed that Katie had been baptized in the very same building where her heartbreaking funeral took place. In a statement ahead of the service, Katie's parents had asked as many people as possible to attend, wearing traditional funeral outfits with a splash of color. Might be red shoes, a bright hairpiece, etc. What people would be comfortable in. Katie's uncle Stephen made an emotional tribute to his little niece, whom he described as a smart, fun, and beautiful child. He described Katie's love of the outdoors and reading. Ruff told Katie suffered from selective mutism, but it didn't stop her from having fun with her friends. At the end of the speech, Mr. Ruff's voice broke with emotions as he added, "We will miss Katie forever. The memory of her will live on forever in our hearts." In Katie's honor, a family fun day was announced for February 18th. The announcement was followed by a colorful poster with a picture of Katie. The 15-year-old girl accused of killing the only 7-year-old Katie Ruff had pleaded not guilty of murder. The teen girl appeared at Leeds Crown Court via video link. She was wearing a lilac top with the sleeves bounced up to her elbows and sat with her legs crossed. She didn't speak during the 20 minutes hearing. She only nodded when Judge Collier asked if she understood the proceeding. The teen was sitting next to her solicitor, who confirmed she had written not guilty on the indictment in front of her. She will now face trial on July 3rd, but there will be two further hearings before then. The teenager, who cannot be named, will remain in local authority accommodation until the trial. We will keep you updated on the awful case. Don't miss out on any crime news. Become a member of our community on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and don't forget to slap that follow button and click the bell. Then you will be updated when we have news for you.